Hey everyone, welcome back. So many exciting things to talk about. Um, what's going on. Okay. So today we're going to talk about our industry moment, which is going to be a new event that I'm bringing to the world in this different platform, in this different way. So I'm excited to share that with you. And then for our client corner, we're going to talk about how do you know if you're ready to host your own event. And then also for our planner hotline, right? I do have a Reddit post, which I'm going to read and provide some feedback on. So many exciting things to do today. All right, so let's start with the industry moments, right? So excited. I've been building something in the background and it's almost here. I saw the gap, right? I remember being a high school student. And then all of a sudden, poof, you're in college. The decisions that you made in high school, you didn't really take it seriously because it's like, whatever, I have time. But you have to choose where you're going to go for school, which is important, what you're going to major in, how you're going to pay for it, how you're going to survive. And those are things that you don't think about. So financial literacy for young people in underserved communities is one of the things this event was in my mind, just around in my mind for a very long time. And now I'm doing the steps to bring it out there. So it's called the First Month Game. Its subtitles, Will You Survive a Month? So essentially, we set up a simulation where high schools have to live out their first month on paper, budgeting adult life. They get a card with all their information on it, you know, the career they chose, schooling costs, credit score, all the things, and they go around to these different booths to try to budget out their life and make good financial decisions. This matters to me personally because, again, I have transitioned from social events, which I still do, but social events into corporate experiences centered around community engagement. And this is one of them where I can bring companies into the community in spaces that really matter, that kids will take away from, they will learn a lesson. And if they don't, like, it's beautiful both ways, because if you are not successful at budgeting in this game, you learn a lesson, right? And then if you are successful at it, you also learn a lesson. So it's all dependent, and it's all dependent on the student really and how seriously they take it, but you learn a lesson regardless, because as a high school senior, life is going to come at you real fast, especially in this day and age. It's going to come at you real fast. And if you have the tools of financial literacy, then that's perfectly fine. And that it gives you an advantage. And then also too, I'm focusing on Title I schools, which are schools primarily with families with low income. The reason why is because they don't have anything like this, right? I've seen this done, a version of this done, for schools that can afford the budget, could either pay for someone to come out and teach them, could have the space in the curriculum to do it, and to plan it out, and have the budget to really make it a wholesome event. This event, the first month game, is different because sponsors are paying to be in the room, so I can give this program to a Title I school who needs it, right? Who needs it completely for free. And everything will be paid for, everything will be given to them for free, and they don't have to spend any money. A lot of the financial literacy, when I was doing my research, you always got to stay educated, you got to do your research. When I was doing my research, there's a lot of financial literacy programs, but they are not going as in depth as I plan to go in with it. I'm coming from a producer side of things that is partnering with banks and teachers to make sure the educational component is there. A lot of the financial literacy programs, you have to pay for. They're on paper. The ones that are accessible and will give you like a discount on it, it's paper. It's a packet, and the teacher has to say, okay, now chapter 1, and they do that all the time. So imagine going into high school, being bogged down, necessarily with all the assignments that you have to do, and you get to just spend one day learning financial literacy and actually doing what you need to do as an adult. It's just an awesome experience. I've been muddling this in my head for years. I said that I wanted to do this. I've said I wanted to do this for like 5 years. And when I talked to my mentor about it, he was like, well, why not? Let's do it. Let's go. And I was like, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. So I'm really excited about it. Whatever comes of it, I'm super happy. Where's this gonna be? At Hempstead High School. It's gonna be in October. Super excited. Got it. Okay, so we're gonna pilot this program first, and then we'll roll it out to other districts and other schools. Hopefully, since it's October, maybe we'll do another one in 27 on the same side of the school year. But if you know someone who wants to sponsor or someone who needs to hear about this, please share it. Share this message with them. Tell them what I'm doing, why I'm doing this, and then also I want to connect with them. I want to connect with them so they can go ahead and sponsor the event. They can show up for the kids, especially if they're out in Long Island. How great would it be to be local in your community for this first one? I do plan on having media there, which I am in the process of talking through that. But yeah, if you're interested in any kind of way, if you're a part of a school, you want to become a sponsor, or just someone who needs to hear about this, just hit me up, Cheyenne L at simplyevents.com. And I would love to talk to you about this. So let's go into our client corner. This time, I'm going to keep this episode nice and short as much as possible. So we're going to see. Moving into the client corner, how do you know if your event is ready to host? Or sorry, how do you know if you're ready to host an event? What kind of dyslexia? I don't know. So before I jump on in the consultation, I will ask client 3 questions, so to speak, in different ways based upon the person. Because consultation, really, I'm hearing what you want to do and we're seeing if we're a good fit. But I'm also gaining your personality. I'm seeing a little bit of your personality, how you talk, how you interact, and how you describe the event that you're trying to put on. One is, do you have a clear purpose? I'll ask you, so what kind of event is it, right? That's me knowing what the purpose is. It's a birthday party. This event is to feed homeless kids in Chicago in November, okay? Or a corporate client will say, well, we need to do a mental health event in May. Here's what I got. And I created. So I just need to know what the clear purpose is. What are you trying to do? What do you want people to feel? What do you want people to know? What are they going to do after the event? These are all things that I get from my client during the consultation, right? So have a clear purpose. If you have a vague vision for your event, it's going to be chaotic. You're going to have everything everywhere. You could do ballerina underwater, but if you have no vision of what ballerina underwater is supposed to look like, and don't put together mood boards and don't really source items and like trying to match it all, it's gonna look like 2 separate events that merged into one. And people are gonna feel it. If you don't have the overall message for a speaker event or a speaker panel and what the topic is gonna be, somebody's going to be talking about cars and the other person's going to be talking about food and one person's going to be talking about beauty. And then the crowd is going to be like, what is this about? I don't even know. They're not taking anything from it. So you just have to have a clear purpose in why you're doing the event before you do anything. Second question, do your resources match your vision? Let me clean my glasses here. Does your resources match your vision? And I'm going to clean my glasses with this kind of question because they're dirty. 1. And 2, you gotta, so budget plays a factor. Again, I will always say budget doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means how you're going to go about doing it, right? Do you have the time to put this on? Do you have enough time at the venue to set up and do a complete, decor takeover, right? Do you have enough time, beforehand to prep your team on what they should be doing in the mission of the event? Do you have enough time to get everything that you need production wise into place? Do you have the people that you need to execute this vision? If you need a photographer, do you have somebody booked? If you need a planner, me, do you have me booked? Are the people, are the resources that you need to pull this vision together there? The biggest one I will say is the budget, because the budget will dictate everything else. The budget and time, sorry, will dictate everything else, right? If you have the budget but you're rushing, the energy is going to be off, right? Your vendors are going to be tired. And I'm not saying tired like, I'm tired, I want to go to sleep, but they're just going to be planning fatigue. And I'm telling you, rush events is a thing, right? And because if you rush an event, like you're trying to do something next week and you started the communication today, there's rush fees because of that, right? Because we need to spend extra and spend more time and push all our other clients aside for that short period of window to make sure your event goes off without a hitch. Whether I'm a DJ, whether I'm a photographer, whatever, there's rush fees for a reason. So your budget needs to be right. You need to have time. Make sure the right people are in your room. Make sure the energy is good with the people that you hire. So there's so many different things. And like I was said, like you want to start planning early. If you are starting to plan now and you know your event is 6 months, congratulations, you're ahead of the curve. If you are saying, oh, I wanted to do this next week, and you start planning for next week, that's rushing. You haven't fully thought about the entire vision. You let the day go past. You let all these things happen. And now you're rushing. And now you have to pay more for rush fees for everything that you do to get it done or do it yourself, which who really wants to do it themselves? Honestly, me personally, I'm at the point I'm at the point where I just want to come in and it's done. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And then lastly, I will say the third question is, do you have a decision maker in place? Right? This is huge, especially for my companies out here. It's huge because if you don't have a decision maker in place, that delays the entire process. So for example, let me give you an example. Let's go back to question 2, right? Let's say you're planning an event and it's next week and you decide, I have the budget, so I'm just going to pay whatever. I don't have the time, to do anything. So I just really need someone to take this over and find the people and create this energy that I'm looking for that is with my purpose. But the decision maker who signs off on all contracts, who signs off on all bills, right, needs 2 days to process each invoice, needs 2 days to approve if you can hire so and so, needs 2 days to see if the venue is good or not, to ask why, and to hold on to the purse strings, which rightfully so. If that's your process, that's your process. But you can't plan an entire event in a week if your decision maker needs 2 business days to review information and get back to you. Because if they come back to you with a no, then you have to do the research process all over again. So it delays things and it makes it a hassle, right? If you are the decision maker yourself, you're already in a good place. You just sign off on what you want to make it happen and what you're willing to spend, going back to your resources, matching your vision. For corporate events, the lack of internal alignment is a silent killer. Not having that decision maker in place when you are planning an event is a killer, because no matter, and this is partly why a lot of corporate events feel rushed when you're planning them, and a lot of them are like ad hoc or one-offs, is because the decision maker makes a decision too late. And the autonomy is not placed with the person who's in charge at your company of planning it. So that's what really makes things, harder. And companies will end up spending more money. You can cut so much money if, in terms of just like spending costs, if you plan events earlier, get the approval to have this event earlier, and plan it accordingly. Because I'm sure a lot of venues are charging you rush fees. And I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know. Don't kill the messenger, but you could be saving a lot of money. A lot of money. My dog is on the floor snoring. I'm like, what is that? Um, okay, perfect. So here's a sign that you're ready to plan your event. You can describe your event in 2 sentences. You got a date, a type of venue that you're looking for, and a head count range. So I want it on Thursday the 4th, and it needs to be outside in the field, and it's going to be about 80 people. And then also, too, your non-negotiables. If I want an outside event, I can't have it inside. If it needs to be on the 4th, for whatever reason, it needs to be on the 4th. You have to have your non-negotiables. What are you willing to address on, and what are you willing not to? No, I'm recording. Go. That's why the door's closed. I said no iPad today. No, Jalen. Yeah, so you need to know your non-negotiables. You need to know what you're willing to negotiate on, and what you're willing to, like, okay, I gotta walk from this venue because they're not gonna do X, Y, and Z. Whatever that may be. Here are some signs that you need more time. As I said, like messing with my water. You're still debating the purpose of the event. You're still saying, you know, this event is great, but I don't know. Maybe we'll just change it to this instead of that, or maybe we'll just add this purpose on top of this event because that would be better. Maybe we'll just do X, Y, and Z instead of this. You're still debating the purpose. You don't have a clear, fine description of what this event is about, right? Um, Budget is TBD and no plans to figure it out. I'm gonna say this for the people in the. Your budget is TBD and you have no plans, no set date and time to figure it out. Luna, I'm recording. No, you gotta go. Is it fine if I have a chip? There's no chips. So can I have a snack? No, because I gave you a snack already. And you didn't eat it. And Daddy's on his way. He's here? He's on his way. Yeah. Did you guys put your bowls in the sink? Yeah. Okay, good job. Okay. Your budget is TBD with no plans of figuring out. I say it again. Your budget is TBD and you have no plans to figure it out. The majority of calls that I get from clients is they want to do something, they want to do this awesome event, they have this awesome idea. Great. But I ask them, hey, what's your budget? Well, I don't really know how something like this costs. Or they'll send me a photo of a 50K event that I know took 50K because everything is fully decorated, at least, right? And they're like, oh, this looks great. I want to do this. And I tell them, like, well, that is probably, a 50K event. Oh, no, I can't spend that. Can we lower this? Can we do this? Can we do that? And they have no determining, like, no budget per se. Um, you're not ready. You're not ready. Give me some kind of, even if it's a low number, give me some number. So I know that you put some thought into this and it's like, okay, realistically, I want to spend X, Y, and Z. But also, too, you need to be confident in your budget, and you need to know what your budget will and will not allow. And it's okay to call a professional and ask them, hey, listen, this is my budget. This is what I want to do. But a part of it is common sense. You know, if you create a mood board and everything is glitz and glam, everything is customized on that mood board, everything is um like the whole venue is draped, and the whole, there's a backdrop, and every table has that gold or silver trimming. Those are rentals, these are custom items, right? This is not standard for every event. So there's a cost associated with each thing. You can't say that my budget is $500 and that's your photo that you're referring to. We got to be realistic with what we are visioning, right? Because then it goes back to number 2. Does your resources match your vision? And that does not match. Even if you know nothing about the industry, that does not match. Oh, and I would be leery of a vendor who's like, yeah, I could do that for you for $500. Then you're gonna end up with that. No, she actually spent more though. I'm reminded of a story. I'm not gonna even go there. I'm not gonna touch it. Right? Um Another sign that you need more time is that you want this event to happen in 3 weeks with no vendor relationships. You personally don't know a DJ, you don't know a caterer, you don't know a planner, you don't know nobody in this industry. Nobody. And you want to make this event happen in less than 3 weeks. Is it doable? Yes. Will there be rush fees? Yes. How do you know people are going to merge together to make this event a success, to create the energy that you need? Going back to the second question, right? Match resources matching vision. It takes time to know people. It takes time to know how people work. If you hire a planner, you could lean on a planner's expertise. We could definitely make it happen within 3 weeks, because we know this vendor works well with this vendor and that vendor works well with that vendor. And we got kind of like the inside scoop. But if you're planning this yourself and you have no context, you're starting from scratch, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and the energy might be off in the room, to be honest. How to stop rushing into stress, event stress, right? Okay. So there is a cost to under planning. Um, and the cost of under planning is not having a cohesive event, not having a complete team, no organization. Everybody is in the room, but they don't know what they're supposed to do. Your guests leave feeling confused, lost. Why did I come? Your guests will end up leaving early. Um, there's just the cost of under That's the cost of under planning, right? Um, versus the discomfort of patience, right? Discomfort of patience is kind of like, I need everybody today. I need all my vendors booked today. I need a rush, 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 rush. I need this, I need that, and I got today to do it, and I'm just gonna do it today. A lot of wedding planners, I mean, not wedding planners, a lot of couples actually do that. They will plan everybody out 12 months in advance, which is good. It's good. But then come into time, when it's time to make everything happen, it's all over the place. Nobody knows their function. Nobody knows their real role. And that's where a day of coordinator is like, oh, shoot, I need somebody to help me put all this together. And that's where a day of coordinator comes into play, which I can't do that for you too. But sometimes you just need to woosah and just plan the event, sit on it a little bit, right? I like this vendor, but I'm feeling this one, and then make a decision. But see, this is when you have enough time to plan your event. Guys, quiet down, please. Um, Yeah, so sometimes you need to sit down, right? And relax and really weigh out your options and go back to your vision and see who's going to match what you're trying to do and the quality of their work. The next way you can stop rushing into stress, event stress, right? Build your event backwards from the date of the event. Okay, so I know I need to, have a caterer book 6 months out. I know I need to have a planner book, preferably 1 year out. I need to have a photographer booked, preferably 6 months out. You work backwards from your event. Like, I need to confirm the venue, the number of people who's going to show up. Then that means I need to do RSVP, some type of site, Eventbrite, whatever, see how many people is coming so then I can tell the venue. All right, cool. Then I need to get a DJ. When should I book the DJ? Let's book the DJs here just in case I got to do that. And then I want special entertainment. And I'm like, You can literally plan your event backwards. And that's how I plan a lot of events. I plan it backwards. To make sure that day of, that vision that you had is actually happening. So everything that I do, everything that we plan together is with that vision in mind. And I've said that before, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. And then another way to stop rushing into stress is realizing what ready enough actually looks like in practice. A lot of event planners, we are perfectionists or recovering perfectionists. And you got to know when the event is good enough to get it off the ground. This thing, we got a DJ, we got this, we got all our scripts, we got the timeline, we're good to go. Everybody knows what they're doing, at least what time to show up and where they got to be at. And this is the point person for the event. We know what we got to do. So the event is good to go. It's ready enough, right? Then as you get closer to the event, you can start tweaking things, or there's always going to be some shit show situation day of where you're going to have to tweak, or you're going to have to add, or you're going to have to hey, we're going to save that for the back end. Let's go here. And, there's always things that's going to happen, but you have to know when it's actually good enough. Because if you over plan every minute, every second, every time, you're going to stress yourself out when things don't happen and you're not letting your event flow naturally. Okay? So with that is how you know if your event is ready. And this is the closing of the client corner. Maybe eventually I'll get some music for it, but honestly, editing is annoying. If anyone's out there who like to edit, by all means, let me know. Okay? Let me know. Yeah, so takeaways from that is, listen, if nothing else, does your resources match your vision? Make sure you have a vision. And make sure that you can identify who the decision maker is, or if you are in fact the decision maker, make sure you are making decisions on time. Okay, I'm just gonna plug in my phone here. All right, so we're getting to the planner hotline. Let's read this. Okay, take a screenshot of. Okay, so it says, how do you solve no-shows? I organize a reoccurring group outing every month, and the no-show rate is killing me. Last month, I had an 18 people RSVP and 9 people showed up. I had already told the venue to expect a full group. The frustrating part is it's not strangers. It's people who specifically asked to be a part of this group. Free RSVPs seem to mean nothing. People click going and treat it like a maybe. I've tried a few things. So this is what she's tried, or he. Asking people to confirm again 48 hours before, posting a reminder in the group chat, just accepting it, and always booking for half the RSVP account. None of it actually fixes it. The only thing I've heard works consistently is charging a small deposit up front and then you lose people who would actually have shown up and don't want to pay in advance. For those who organize reoccurring groups, have you found anything that actually works? Is deposit the only real answer, or is there something else going on? Generally trying to figure this out. Open to anything that works for you. Which, this is a great question. When I first started planning events, the no-show rates, I had to learn. I had to learn it. And 50% is kind of high, because usually it's around 20 to 30% of your people will no-show, especially for a free event. And you're looking more around the 50. I say 50 is still high. I would say more around like the 40-30 range of people not showing up. How I solve this is, because it's a small enough group, 18 people is easy to manage, right? And I'm just going to stick with your small group. 18 people is very easy to manage. What I would do is to the 9 people who didn't show up, and if they are recurring no showers, I would send them an email and say, hey, in order to be a participant in this event or in this group, you got to show up. I host free events for moms out in Long Island. We have our own group, and it's with our couples and kids. It could be well more than 18 people. And I get it, like sometimes people, miss, they can't do, they gotta work, they gotta whatever, but they're not RSVPing, yes. And you just gotta be understood, like the purpose of your group was what, right? And then you just gotta let them know, like send out a message, not around an event, and just say, hey, would really like to continue creating a collaborative event space for these people. Explain what your mission was in creating this space. And also mention to them, hey, in order to be a part of this group, you do have to show up. A part of the requirement is showing up, because it's not fair to the others who have been showing up and they're not getting the fullness of the event, right? The reciprocity of the event. Now, if it's more so a thing where it's like, hey, just a group of friends coming together and 9 people you notice, they just don't show up every time. And it's a more casual kind of thing. I would say that you can, call them directly and say, hey, I noticed that you RSVP, yes, but you didn't show. And if you do that more times than not, and I know it's an extra step, but if you want to continue doing free events, right? If you do that more times than not, what happens is they're like, oh, this person's going to call me and check in on me, and I need to have an answer for them. So I'm just going to RSVP no, because I know 100% that I can't make it, right? Or maybe I'm 80% on the fence, and I will message the person and take the initiative to say, hey, I'm trying to see if I can make it. I'm not sure. What do you think I should do? They're going to ask you more questions once they realize the severity of not showing. And then in terms of the venue, I say always play it safe. Have your minimums set, and then they can always add on. If it's like a restaurant with a large group, right? Like, so for example, nine people would be semi-large in New York City. If you're doing like a restaurant or something, have the food and preparation for 9 people, right? And then as more people show, actually, no, I lie. I would have the food be for, if 18 people RSVP, you're doing the 24-hour note before you go. You're checking and you're doing a 48-hour, just confirming that you're coming. Please tell me if you're coming or not. And they're saying yes, and they're not showing up. And if it's a thing that's going to cost you out of your pocket towards the end of the event, because you're planning for all 18, me personally, I would say, hey, I have 12 people showing up, and let them know. And, let the group know if it's a paid activity that they paid for over there. I would say, listen, hey guys, you RSVP'd, this is the cost. If you don't show, you still have to pay this money. There's so many different ways that you could go about it and keep your event quote unquote free. If it's something where it's kind of like you're renting out, not even renting, if you're just meeting up in a park, it just kind of bums you out that you think you're going to have a bigger crowd of people and you don't. But just communicate to them. Communicate the severity, the purpose of your group, what you're trying to do, that there has to be reciprocity. Can't say the word now. There has to be that, right? In order to be a part, if it's truly a free group, to say if you cannot, respond and fully be a part of this group and show up, is there something that you need help with? No? Okay, cool. Then you gotta go. You gotta come out of the group. Let us know when you're ready to rejoin and be a part of the full group. If it's something that is paid for and you're just kind of taking a head count on Eventbrite, so like for example, like with the restaurant, if you're doing a prefix menu, you negotiated with the restaurant, you have 18 people, you reserve the private room, it's going to be $200 per person, 18 people reserved, and 9 show up. And before you go, I would tell them, hey, listen, if you no show this event or you're not coming to this event at this point, no refunds or whatever if you took money beforehand, or if they got to pay there, you will still owe $200 for not showing up. And I guarantee you people will show up, right? And if they don't pay, you just kick them out the group. I think the other ways in terms of like what you've tried is good, but you have to have like a definitive, like if you can't be a part of this group fully and fully participate, you have to leave. And because if it's a space that people want to be in and they've asked to be in, and you're taking time out of your day to plan things, and of course there's a nice way to say it, chat GPT it, Claude it, don't sound aggressive, but that's what I say, just kick them out. Kick them out if they're not participating fully. Kick them out. But also account for the normal no-show rate is anywhere from 20 to 30% for an event. So always keep that in mind. And there was another episode. Gotta get my Mona Youngin. Wait, how does she do it? Wait. And that was another episode. I'm so happy to be doing this with you. If you need me for anything, event planning advice, hit me up for the planner hotline, Cheyenne L at simplyevents.com. If you need me for an event, still Cheyenne L at simplyevents.com. For all things event related, you can reach me on my website, simplyevents.com. And I will see you on the next episode. Thank you.